Evolution Goblin Giant in a nutshell. Goblin Giant will be the next evolution coming to Clash Royale. You can find him in the Diamond Pass. Use code Abdod before buying. Stat wise, he is exactly identical to the normal Goblin Giant, and as you can see, he is a one cycle evolution. The reason I'm emphasizing on him being identical is because to me, he looked slower at first when I saw him, but trust me, they are the same speed. This evolution uses the injury mechanic like the Demolisher, where he would activate his ability after losing half his HP. The ability consists of spawning a dagger goblin from his pouch every couple seconds. It has no limit to how many goblins it spawns, so if I rocket him in the back and keep him going, he will keep on spawning goblins up until he dies. And since we saw in the Demolisher video that healing a troop above the indicator doesn't take away the ability, I can see him being used with healing, as it might allow him to spawn an extra goblin or two. Unlike evolved Goblin Barrel, this dude is incredibly well designed, and this mechanic does complement his playstyle almost perfectly. For example, Rage, which was already a good card with him, works so well with the evolution as it allows you to get goblins more frequently. And you know when you have your Goblin Giant killed and the tower would target on your push instead of the two spear goblins? Well, with these goblins, it is now much less likely for the tower to take down your troops, as it will target to the goblin and then go for the spear goblins right after. It's even a built-in anti-electro dragon machine, as the spawned goblins will make it so it's so much less likely for your Sparky to get zapped, since they will continuously tank the electro dragon hits. This also makes it no longer possible to have a P.E.K.K.A. knock your support troop, then go for the Goblin Giant, as the constant stream of goblins will just hold her back from reaching him. See? Now when you want to counter him, the fact that he is weak to high single damage attacks, but his ability is strong against it, means it will be overwhelming to stop him, as you can't use single target attackers alone. And you most certainly can't use splashers alone against him, because they just don't deal enough damage on their own, so you would end up taking a lot of damage on your crown towers. But instead, you are forced to overcommit by using both of them at the same time if you want to stop him efficiently. Also, it's important to note that if you're using Princess Tower, you can void him, as all 3 hits would land before the ability. But with support, third hit will get its damage reduced from the goblin spawning behind him. Best solution against this is to have the knight placed a bit late, so he would only start attacking after the void gets all 3 shots down. Dagger Duchess and Cannoneer have strong bursts of damage, so the third void hit will always have damage reduction applied on it. You also might want to refrain from tornadoing him to the king tower, because with the way the goblin spawns behind him, they will go on your tower, so you're basically not saving your tower here. With Fisherman, it's an entirely different story, because the goblins will go towards the Fisherman and ignore your tower. And against buildings, the tower is just too far away for the goblins to go towards it, so they will just go for your bomb tower and die in the process. I want to point out that if the Goblin Giant starts walking backwards, the goblins will spawn in the same position they used to spawn, aka in front of him, which is a weird interaction. And under the extremely likely circumstances of someone rocket raging the Goblin Giant used to kite their P.E.K.K.A., the goblins will ruin the kiting, as they would keep the P.E.K.K.A. behind. I don't know what you're supposed to do with this information, but I can see it change the trajectory of a match every once in a blue moon, so I thought no harm in mentioning it. As a Sparky Rage player, this season is my time to shine, my dudes.